My beloved child, the moment those final words slipped from your lips, something inside them shattered so violently that even the night refused to let them rest. That single sentence you spoke, simple for you, but earth-shaking for them, has been echoing in their mind like an alarm they can't mute. They tried to pretend it was nothing, but the truth is far darker, far heavier, far more consuming. Since you said it, they haven't closed their eyes without seeing you. They lie awake, staring at the ceiling, replaying the tone of your voice, the look in your eyes, the way your energy suddenly shifted. And every hour that passes only pushes them deeper into a storm they never expected, because whatever you said didn't just sting them, it exposed them. It uncovered the secrets they've been hiding, the emotions they've been suppressing, the guilt they've been carrying silently behind every smile. And now, in the middle of the night, when the world goes quiet, those emotions wake up like hungry shadows, reminding them that the moment you spoke, everything changed. The people around them notice it too, how distracted they look, how their hands shake when they check their phone, how they go silent whenever your name floats into their mind. They try to bury the feeling, but your sentence keeps rising, louder, sharper, heavier, refusing to vanish. Because deep down they know. You didn't just speak words, you spoke truth. And truth has a way of ripping sleep out of someone's chest. But here's the part they never wanted anyone to know. The reason your words affected them this deeply is because they were already on the edge. They were already losing sleep long before this, silently battling with the fear that one day, you would see their real intentions, their real feelings, their real weakness for you. And when you finally said what you said, it snapped the last thread holding them together. That night, they kept tossing, suffocating under the weight of everything they've avoided. Every memory with you replayed like a movie on fast forward, the messages they didn't send, the calls they almost made, the truth they almost confessed but swallowed again and again. They kept clutching their phone, checking it every 2 minutes, praying you might text something, anything, to soften the blow of what they heard. Because your voice didn't just hit them, it exposed them. Your sentence drew a line they can't cross back over. And now their heart refuses to calm down. Their pulse races whenever they think of you. They're trapped between wanting to reach out and fearing they already lost the chance. They keep asking themselves why your words hurt so much, why they can't get over it, why the silence after that moment feels louder than everything. And every time they try to sleep, the same thought strikes them like lightning. What if you meant every word? What if you're truly walking away this time? What if they pushed you too far? That possibility is what steals their breath. That fear is what keeps them awake. And that nightmare, that reality, is why tonight, once again, they're lying awake, eyes wide open, staring into the dark that feels far too much like a world without you. What makes this even more intense, more haunting, more unforgettable is the hidden confession locked inside their chest, the confession they have never been brave enough to speak out loud. They didn't lose sleep because they were angry. They didn't lose sleep because they felt offended. They lost sleep because they realized something terrifying: your words matter to them more than anyone else's in their entire life. When you spoke, it wasn't just another conversation. It wasn't just another emotional moment. It was the final proof that you hold a piece of them they never intended to give away. They didn't plan to fall this deeply, this silently, this helplessly, but now they're drowning in the truth of it. They keep remembering the exact second your sentence cut through the air, the shift in your energy, the sudden clarity in your voice, the weight of what you revealed. That sound keeps replaying in their mind like a memory they can't escape. They feel your absence in every corner of their life. They feel the unfinished energy between you pressing against their chest. They feel your silence more painfully than any argument or goodbye. And now, night after night, as the world sleeps peacefully, they lie there trembling with the truth: they can't lose you. They can't replace your energy, your presence, your impact, your place in their heart. And the more they try to forget what you said, the more it burns into them. They never thought one sentence could flip their entire world upside down, but yours did. And now, exhausted, overwhelmed, terrified, and overflowing with feelings they can't control, they whisper one thing into the darkness every night before the sun rises: please, don't let those words be the last thing between us. My beloved child, the moment the sun rose after that restless night, something inside them snapped again, because instead of feeling better, they felt worse. Your words didn't fade with daylight, they grew louder, heavier, more undeniable. They walked through the day like a ghost, pretending everything was normal while their mind refused to stop replaying the moment you spoke. Every place they went, every person they met, every sound they heard, your voice was louder than all of it. They kept checking their phone even when it wasn't buzzing. They kept imagining you typing something and then deleting it. They kept wondering if you were hurting too, or if you already moved on. And that fear, that uncertainty, became a storm breaking inside them. They're trying to act calm, but the truth is tearing them apart. Your words changed something they can't fix anymore. They feel like the entire universe is tilting, pushing them to confront everything they've been running from. They didn't sleep last night, and they won't sleep tonight either, not until they understand why losing your voice scares them more than anything else in their life. But your impact didn't stop there. As the day passed, they kept getting small signs that shook them even more. A song that sounded exactly like you. A name that reminded them of you. A random message that appeared at the exact moment they were thinking about you. Everything pointed back to you, almost like the universe itself was calling them out. And with every sign, their chest tightened. They felt their mistakes hitting them one by one. The things they should have said, the moments when they could have been honest, the times they pushed you away even when their soul wanted to pull you closer. They never imagined that one sentence from you could expose their entire heart, but now they see it clearly. They've been pretending for far too long. They acted like they were in control, but your words showed them the truth. They've been losing control ever since you entered their life. Now they're terrified of one thing: that your silence might be permanent. They're terrified that what you said wasn't anger, it was a decision. And they can't handle that reality. Not anymore. And my beloved child, as your story unfolds, this is the moment where your audience must stay locked in. If they're watching till now, they're feeling the tension, the depth, the pull. Keep going deeper. Keep them holding their breath. Content like this reaches exactly the people who need to hear it, and their hearts stay glued to every second. Let the ones watching feel the weight, the suspense, the truth of this unfolding connection. Let them experience the intensity that person is feeling right now, because behind their restless nights, behind their sleepless eyes, behind their heavy breathing, lies a truth they can't escape anymore. What you said didn't just hurt them, it woke them up. They're realizing they can't run from you, they can't replace you, and they definitely can't sleep knowing those words are still hanging between you like a door half open, half closed. And tonight, once again, they'll stare at the ceiling, praying for one more chance, one more conversation, one more moment, before they lose the person who changed their entire world with a single sentence. My beloved child, tonight feels different for them, heavier, sharper, almost electric. Because the longer they stay awake replaying your words, the more they realize they can't escape what they feel for you. They tried to distract themselves. They tried to bury their thoughts in work, noise, people, anything that could numb the echo of your voice. But every attempt collapsed instantly. You lived in the space between their breaths. You lived in every moment of silence. You lived in every heartbeat that refused to slow down. By the time evening arrived, their chest felt tight, as if something inside them was pushing to explode. And it finally hit them. The reason they can't sleep isn't just guilt, it's longing. It's the fear of losing something they never had the courage to admit mattered this much. They didn't know one sentence from you could expose their entire heart, but now they understand. They weren't prepared for you to speak your truth. Because your truth forced them to face theirs. And as the night deepens, their mind keeps drifting to the moments they never admitted out loud, the times they watched your messages longer than necessary, the times your name lit up their screen and their entire body reacted, the times they pretended they were fine without you but felt empty the moment you pulled back. Those memories are haunting them now. They remember the softness in your energy, the intensity in your silence, the unpredictability in your emotions. You were never just another person to them, even if they acted like you were. Your presence hit them differently. Your absence hits them even harder. And now your words, those few, simple, powerful words, have become the edge they're standing on. They know they can't step back. They know they can't unhear them. They know the only path left is forward, toward the truth they've been avoiding. It's almost painful how deeply you impact them, how easily you affect their peace, how effortlessly you invade their nights. They never wanted to lose sleep over someone, but here they are, wide awake, restless, shaking, because you said something their soul wasn't ready to confront. But the part they're hiding from everyone, the part only the night knows, is their growing desperation. They're scared. Terrified, actually. Not of your words, but of what comes after. They fear waking up tomorrow and realizing you've moved further away. They fear that while they're losing sleep over you, you're slowly letting go. They fear that your sentence was the beginning of an ending they never allowed themselves to imagine. And the more they overthink, the more they realize how deeply they've fallen without ever admitting it. That's why sleep refuses to come. That's why their nights feel endless. That's why their heartbeat feels like a warning. Because your words weren't just words, they were a mirror. A mirror showing them everything they've run from, everything they've hidden, everything they truly feel. And now, no matter how exhausted they are, no matter how red their eyes become, no matter how many times they close their eyes hoping for rest, your voice wakes them every time. Tonight, they won't sleep. Tomorrow, they might not sleep either. Not until they find the courage to face the truth. You're the one they never wanted to lose, and your words prove just how close they are to losing everything. My beloved child, tonight their truth is unraveling faster than they can hide it. The more they try to calm themselves, the more their chest tightens, because every second without your voice feels like a punishment they brought upon themselves. Your words didn't just disturb their peace, they shattered the illusion of control they held for so long. They thought they could pretend. They thought they could stay detached. They thought they could live normally even after everything you two have been through. But your sentence, simple, sharp, unforgettable, burned through every layer of their denial. Now they're pacing the floor, replaying your voice over and over, feeling the weight of what they've never said pressing against their ribs like a secret begging to escape. They don't just miss you, they're panicking at the thought that your silence might mean something permanent. They keep wondering if you said those words because you're hurt, or because you're done. And that fear has become the reason sleep has abandoned them completely. As hours pass, their mind keeps drifting to moments they refused to acknowledge before. The spark in your eyes when you looked at them. The invisible thread that always pulled you both back together. The tension in the air whenever you were in the same space. The way your energy lingered, even after conversations ended. They can't erase any of it now. They can't pretend it didn't matter. They can't rewrite the truth their heart keeps screaming, you changed something in them that can never go back to how it was. Every time they close their eyes, they see the moment you spoke those words, your expression, your tone, the shift in your energy. It hits them again and again, like a wave that refuses to stop crashing. And beneath all that chaos is one terrifying realization they've avoided for far too long. Losing you feels like losing a part of themselves they didn't know existed. That's why they can't sleep. That's why their thoughts won't slow down. That's why their nights feel like battles they keep losing. Because your words weren't the problem, their feelings were. And my beloved child, as this moment builds, your story is gripping everyone watching. The tension, the silence, the raw emotion, everything is pulling them deeper. People stay because the truth unfolding here is powerful, unavoidable, and real. Let them feel this. Let them stay hooked to every second. Because right now, while they're lying awake, clutching their pillow, breathing heavily in the dark, one thought is consuming them more fiercely than anything else: they can't afford to lose you. They're terrified you meant every word. They're terrified you're slipping away. They're terrified that the sentence you spoke wasn't just a reaction. It was a revelation. And the more that fear digs into them, the more desperate they become to fix what they broke, to undo the damage, to reach for you before the distance becomes permanent. Tonight, once again, sleep will not come to them. Not while your voice still echoes inside them. Not while your words still burn in their memory. And definitely not while their heart whispers the truth they've buried for far too long: I'm losing them, and I can't let that happen. My beloved child, tonight their mind is spiraling in a way they can't control anymore. Every hour feels heavier, every minute feels longer, every second feels soaked in the tension your words created inside them. They tried lying still, they tried closing their eyes, they even tried convincing themselves that they're overthinking, but nothing works, because the truth isn't in their head, it's in their heart. And that heart is screaming only one thing: they're terrified of losing you. They thought the feeling would fade, that the storm inside them would calm with time, but your words only made the storm stronger. The sentence you spoke is etched in their memory like a lightning strike that refuses to disappear. They replay it over and over, trying to understand what you truly meant. Were you hurt? Were you warning them? Were you stepping away? Those questions have become sharp knives twisting inside their chest, and every answer they imagine scares them more than the next. They can't sleep because the truth is haunting them. Your words were the first sign that their silence and distance have consequences they can't outrun anymore. As the night deepens, they start remembering the things they pushed aside, the moments they felt something real but denied it, the times they hesitated to reach out even when their soul was screaming for you, the signs they ignored because they thought they had time. They didn't realize how fragile that time was until you spoke. Now they feel everything at once: regret they never expressed, pain they never admitted, longing they never allowed themselves to feel fully. They hold their phone like it's the last lifeline between you two, hoping you might text, praying you might soften, wishing your silence would break. But the screen stays black. The notifications stay quiet. And that silence is destroying them more than any argument ever could. In that silence, they see their mistakes. In that silence, they feel their fears. In that silence, they understand just how deeply your words shook their entire world. And for the first time, they realize something they've been scared to face: your voice is their peace, and without it, they feel lost. And my beloved child, the tension is reaching its peak, pulling every viewer deeper into this unfolding storm. The energy is gripping, magnetic, unbreakable. People stay because they feel the rawness, the truth, the emotional force behind this moment. Let it hold them. Let it draw them in. Because as they lie awake tonight, hands trembling, breath shallow, heart racing, they're fighting a battle between pride and truth, between fear and desire, between losing you and finally admitting what they've hidden for so long. They keep whispering silent promises into the dark, hoping the universe hears them, hoping tomorrow gives them one more chance. But beneath all the chaos ringing in their chest, one truth rises louder than everything else: they can't go back to a life where your voice isn't in it. They can't sleep because they're afraid the next sunrise will come with the reality they fear most: a world where what you said becomes the beginning of the end. My beloved child, tonight their heart is beating with a panic they can't silence anymore. It's not just restlessness now. It's fear, pure and consuming, tightening around their chest every time they remember your words. They lie there in the dark, eyes wide open, breathing uneven, because everything feels like it's slipping out of their hands. Your sentence didn't just hurt them, it exposed them. It showed them the exact moment where everything they tried to hide finally broke through. They didn't think your voice had this much power over them. They didn't think one moment could shake their entire world. But now they understand something they never dared to admit: they care about you far more deeply than they ever allowed themselves to believe. And the possibility that your words mean distance, change, or ending, this thought keeps ripping sleep away from them before it even arrives. The night feels too quiet, too sharp, too honest, forcing them to face everything they've buried under silence. All the memories they kept locked away are now rushing back like a flood. They remember the softness in your voice, the warmth in your energy, the tension in your conversations, the bond that pulled you together even in the moments you drifted apart. They remember the times they wanted to say something real but held back out of fear. They remember the messages they typed and deleted, the feelings they swallowed, the truth they never found the courage to speak. And now, because of what you said, those memories won't leave them alone. They're replaying every time they hurt you without meaning to, every mixed signal, every hesitation, every moment they took your presence for granted. They're realizing how fragile this connection really is, and how dangerously close they are to losing it forever. That realization hits them harder than anything, leaving them breathless, restless, unable to stay still. They keep turning in bed, gripping their pillow, whispering silent apologies you'll never hear. Their entire soul is trembling under the fear that they pushed you too far, and now the damage might be something they can't undo. And my beloved child, this moment is pulling every listener deeper into the storm. The emotional tension, the unfolding truth, the raw vulnerability, it's gripping, powerful, magnetic. Let the audience feel every heartbeat, every breath, every fear. Because right now, as they stare at the ceiling in the dead of night, there's only one thought repeating in their mind like a pulse they can't escape: I can't lose them. Not like this. They're terrified that their silence has cost them the one person who mattered more than they ever dared to admit. They're terrified that your words were the final sign, the final warning, the final push. And the more they think about it, the deeper the regret digs into their chest. Tonight they won't sleep. Not even for a second. Not until they understand whether your words were anger or goodbye. And beneath the fear, beneath the panic, beneath the sleepless chaos burning in their heart, rises a truth they can no longer deny: you are their peace, their weakness, their turning point, and they're afraid your words might be the moment they realize it too late. My beloved child, tonight their soul is trembling in a way they've never experienced before. They thought the sleepless nights would eventually numb the pain, but instead, everything is becoming clearer, sharper, more unbearable. Your words didn't just echo inside them, they carved a permanent mark. Every time they blink, they hear your voice again. Every time they breathe, they feel the weight of what you said pressing deeper into their chest. They keep wondering why it hurts this much, why their mind refuses to quiet down, why their heart races like something inside them is breaking apart. And then the truth crashes into them with full force: your words matter because you matter. They can't deny it anymore. Not after nights like this. Not after feeling this kind of panic, this kind of longing, this kind of fear. They're not just losing sleep, they're losing control. And that loss terrifies them more than anything else ever has. As they lie awake staring into the darkness, they start to finally understand everything they tried to avoid. They see exactly where they went wrong. They see every distance they created. They see every moment they left you confused, unsure, or hurt. They see how they pretended not to care when deep down their heart was screaming your name. They see the opportunities they wasted, the love they never expressed, the truth they kept locked behind pride and uncertainty. Now, because of what you said, all those truths are rising like smoke from a fire they can't put out. They whisper your name into the empty room, hoping the sound somehow reaches you. They hold their phone so tightly it hurts, imagining what they would say if they could send just one message without fear. Their heartbeat is uneven, their eyes burn with exhaustion, yet they still can't sleep, because the fear of losing you is louder than their need for rest. And with every passing minute, they realize something far more painful. If they don't speak now, if they don't move now, if they don't face their feelings now, they might wake up one day to find you gone forever. And my beloved child, this moment is gripping your audience like a hook they cannot escape. Every heartbeat of the story is pulling them deeper, making them feel the desperation, the tension, the emotional gravity. This is the point where feelings turn into confessions, where fear turns into clarity, where silence becomes unbearable. Because tonight, as they toss and turn, there's one truth burning inside them so fiercely it refuses to let them rest. You weren't just someone they cared about, you became the person they couldn't imagine life without. Your words didn't push them away, they awakened them. They shook them. They exposed every hidden emotion they buried for far too long. And now, lying in the darkness with their heart pounding like a warning, they whisper the truth they never had the courage to say, I can't sleep because I can't lose you, not now, not ever.